So you think I started it too soon?
Yes, but oh well.
Okay, now to go to the devotional, what will I need to, after I greet everybody, what will I push to go to the review? Well, see, now my wristwatch says it's past 6 o'clock. The stove doesn't, but my wristwatch does.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, there's your Ava.
Okay.
She can't hear you yet, so don't talk to her yet. See.
Mm-hmm. Good evening, Uriah. Now she can hear me. I can't hear her yet. Sound. We need sound. And there's Amalia. Good
Hello.
evening.
Oh,
Good
hi,
evening.
how are you? Good evening.
Did you find all of our numbers and everything on the site where you go to find out how to access class?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So everyone else will be able to find our numbers tonight. We'll see how many come tonight. One of the first things we're going to do is we're going to review the plurals. So you may want to get your books open to page 273 about plurals.
What is the page? Excuse me.
273, 274.
Food, page 273.
213.
Esta está, Yuri.
Ya. Thank you. No, esa. 213 is this.
73.
73. Okay.
We'll wait just a couple minutes and see if any others join us. And then we'll start right away with review on the plurals, practicing plurals. You want to come pull up my review page on plurals. Okay, I'm going to put Amalia.
When the
Ureva.
what are you talking about? The devotion or this one?
This one.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put that up.
Thank you. Okay, Ureva, you didn't get to review with us last week. So look at the first word. The first word is crutch.
Okay.
Sometimes you hurt your leg and you have to put something under your arm that touches the ground and it helps you walk. It's called a crutch. What does that word end with?
Okay. Adding ES is crutch.
Yes, because it ends with CH.
Because
Rule number two says if the word ends with CH, S, SH, X, or Z, that you need to add ES. So you are right. Okay, Ureva, go ahead and take the next take all of them down to number 4.
Okay, pants.
Okay,
shirt,
what do? You add what?
S.
S, good.
Two.
The next word?
Shirts.
Okay,
Con S, blouses. Con
just
S.
add S.
Yes,
Okay, and number 4?
blouses.
Okay,
S's.
blouses. You just add the S, it already has the E there. But you're right, you have to have the blouses. The
Blouses.
S sound, the little S sound in there, blouses. Okay,
Blouses.
Amalia, go ahead and take number 5 down to number 9.
Number 5, socks.
Okay,
S.
just add an S.
Shoes. Just the other S.
Good,
For foot is feet.
very good. This is
Okay.
an irregular form,
Mhm.
so you have foot and you change it to feet.
Yes. And
Okay,
S-A-E-S. Dress.
right, that's correct. Dress goes to dresses,
Dresses.
add the ES. And
And
number,
nose is S. Noses.
right. Okay, where's my cursor? Where's my cursor? I need to pull the page down.
Just scroll up with your finger.
Wait a minute, what do you mean? Scroll up with my finger.
Just go.
Okay, all right. Okay, Ureba, take number 10 through about 13.
Okay. 14 or 10.
13 or 14, either one. Just take 3 or 4 more.
Okay. 14 is men.
Okay, and you would spell that how?
M-E-N.
Very good. Okay, now let's go back up to number 10 and let's get ear.
The 15.
Number 10. Let's start with number 10. See at the
10
top of the page?
Ears.
Right, and we add just the S to it, right?
Yes.
Okay, but number 11, what are we going to do to number 11?
T.
It's going to be teeth.
Yes.
T-E-E-T-H. Very good.
Yes.
Boy,
Boys.
right, just add an S. Girl,
Girls.
just add an S. Okay, let's look at Amalia. Look at 15. How will we make that plural?
I say woman.
Yes.
Woman.
And you spell that how?
Is W-O-M-E-N.
Yes, very good. Now, I put this other word here with it because a lot of tests that you will have to take if you try to go like to vocational school or college or anything like that, one of the words they always ask you about is ox. Now, it ends with an X, but we don't use ES. What do we use instead?
E-N.
EN, very good. We use EN, and I put it with men and women because it does the same thing they do. Instead of adding S's, you use EN to make it plural. Do you understand that, Ureba? We talked about it last week, but I think you were a little bit late getting to class, and so I wanted to be sure that those who were late to getting to class had a chance to do this review. Okay, Amalia, go ahead and do 17 and 18. Go ahead, do 19 And then I'll go over number 20 with you all. The rule is there with the plurals, but we've not done that in class. So go ahead and do 17, 18, 19, and then I'll do number 20.
Okay. Fourth S.
S, just an S.
Uh-huh. A spoon, spoons.
Okay.
And,
S or ES?
spoon, no, S.
S, just an S.
And for the knife is K N let me see. It's K N E.
I.
No, I'm sorry, I.
But we're going to change the F to a V. We're going to change the F to a V and add ES.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So for plural for knife, it's knives.
Knives.
Okay. Ureba, look at number 21.
Add the ES, fastest.
Very good.
Child.
Go ahead and do down to 25.
Wish también ES, Adi, witches.
Okay. How about number 22, child?
Child is children.
Okay.
Because it's irregular.
So you'll actually add CHILDEREN, right? Children?
Children.
Let me see. Just to be sure I'm telling you correctly. It's not an E before the R, it's just child, R-E-N. Okay, Ureba, what about person? What? That's singular, one person.
Person?
What is plural for person?
Person? Person is people.
Very good, very good. And what is the plural for church?
For church? Church is churches.
Good.
ES.
Right, it ends with the CH, so you add the ES.
Yes.
Okay, Amalia, take the word buzz at number 26.
Buses.
Okay, so you add the ES, right?
Uh-huh.
And box?
Boxes. ES.
Good, good. And fox?
Boxes.
Good. And fish?
ES, fishes.
No.
No.
No?
Okay, I gave you, remember I
No,
gave you some real
because
tricky ones.
It's
Fish
no plural.
is singular and plural. You
Plural,
don't add
yes.
S or ES for it.
I'm sorry.
I'm not going to get into that with them yet. There.
Fish.
Okay, now I'm going to give you some more. Ureba, these are tricky ones.
Okay.
Trout. What is the plural of trout?
Trouts.
It's just trout. There's no S, there's no ES.
Yes.
When you catch a trout, that's a type of fish. You just say, we caught many trout, we caught some trout, we caught a few, or you give a number. Now, when you go to a restaurant and you're ordering fish, that's the reason I gave you the next one, piece. So how would you make piece plural?
Add the S pieces.
Just add S and it's pieces, pieces. Now, so when you're at the restaurant and you're ordering trout and you want 2 pieces of trout, you don't say trouts. You say, I want 2 pieces of trout. Okay? And the same for the next word. It's also a fish.
Salmon.
Salmon. And it's
Salmon?
no S.
No, porque
no
es
ES.
fish. Because
It's
it's fish.
It's another fish. And you don't have S or S's with it. You
No.
just say, I want some salmon, or I want 2 pieces of salmon, but you don't say salmons.
Okay.
Okay?
So when somebody go to fishing
Yes.
and you take you can say too many fish. You not can say too many fishes. You need say too many fish.
Right.
Okay.
Right. You just say
Okay.
too many fish.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now the word shrimp,
It's the same.
it's the same. There's no shrimps. It's we caught many shrimp. I want a 12-piece plate of shrimp. We don't say shrimps. Okay, just shrimp. Now, goose. What is the plural of goose?
Gooses.
Nope,
ADS, no?
nope. We change the inside of the word. Remember tooth? Remember foot? What did we do to those?
So
We changed the 2 O's to 2 E's.
ye
So goose goes to geese.
is.
Yes, the plural of goose is geese. Now, mouse is another really tricky one.
Mouse.
So what are we going to make plural on mouse?
Mice.
Mice. I'm giving you some of the tricky ones, especially with mouse. You're going to hear that now because we're in the fall and mice try to find their way in the house. People will talk about a mouse, or we got some mice in the house, because when we start having cold weather, they want to get in to where it's warm. So people will have more trouble with mouse and mice this time of year. The next one is moose. Now they have those further north of here, Canada and Michigan and places like that. Can you think what might be the plural of moose?
Is the same.
It is the same. You have 1 moose, you have 3 moose. It doesn't change. Some of us, when we were kids coming through school, we thought it followed the rule for goose, and we would put meese. But meese is not correct either. It's just moose. Another one that stays the same is, look at number 37. Deer. It's not deers. You see 3 deer, you see 1 deer. It's all the same.
Same.
Okay, let's go to our devotional. Okay, here's our devotional. I'm going to say it in little phrases and then you can say it after me. The Lord said to Cain,
The Lord said to Cain,
"Where is your brother Abel?"
Where
Where is your brother Abel?
He replied,
He
I
replied,
He replied, I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Am I my brother's keeper?
Okay, we have a picture here of Cain and Abel. Do you all remember the story of Cain and Abel? God told them they needed to make a sacrifice. And Abel was a shepherd. So when he came to make his sacrifice, he brought a sheep. Cain was a farmer of vegetables and fruits. So when he came to make a sacrifice, he brought vegetables. But God had told Adam and Eve that when they made a sacrifice, it needed to be an animal. It needed to be a sheep. So when he brought his sacrifice, God rejected Cain's sacrifice. He accepted Abel's sacrifice. So what do you think happened between the two boys? It's a word called jealous.
Okay.
He got jealous of his brother because God accepted his sacrifice, but not his. What happens when people get jealous?
The heart change.
Their heart changes, they get angry. And so Cain had killed his brother Abel. And so the Lord came to Cain and he said, "Where is your brother Abel?" Because he hid his body in the sand. And so when the Lord said to him, "Where is your brother Abel?" could he turn to God and say, "Well, I killed him and I buried him in the sand"? He says, "I don't know where he is." Well, he did know where he was, but he'd not only killed his brother, but then he lied to him. He says, "I don't know where he is." So when somebody uses this phrase, sometimes you'll hear people say, "Am I my brother's keeper?" You know, if somebody asks someone, you know, where this person is or that person, sometimes they will say, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Meaning, I don't know. I don't know where they are.
Or he knows.
Sometimes they know and sometimes they don't know. But you might hear somebody use that phrase. Look at the look on Cain's face. Can you see there that he's not very happy with his brother?
It's mad.
The way his eyes look, the way his mouth looks.
He's hungry.
Kind of a bad feeling maybe between the two boys, even before their sacrifice. Do you have any questions about this little story?
No.
Okay. All right, Lydia. I'm hoping this evening that we can finish this chapter and start our new one. Maybe just introduce the vocabulary words. So if you would turn to page 40, please. We are going to have a word in our lesson today. I don't know if you know it or not. It's called uniform. And that means that sometimes a business or even government agency will try to have everyone wear the same thing to work. So they will have shirts maybe with their name printed on it or the name of the logo of the company that owns the business. Can you think of some jobs that have a uniform? Places that you've been that they wear a shirt or maybe shirt and pants and everyone dresses alike?
Yes.
What kind of jobs can you think of, Amalia?
They use the uniforms.
Where they use uniforms.
I use the uniform. And,
Do you?
Yeah, and the kitchen.
You work in the kitchen?
Yes.
Can you think of a reason why a business might want you to wear a uniform in a kitchen?
In the restaurant, everybody use uniforms, so especially in the kitchen is different. Like in kitchen is like a chef uniform. It's for make the difference for the kitchen people working in front.
Right. But why would a business want people to wear a uniform? Can you think of a reason why they might want people to wear a uniform?
I think one the reason is because depend to the company. So you can wear and you got the name for the company and everything, the label for the company.
And in the kitchen, they especially want their people to be clean and neat because they're handling food, people's food. And so they want a uniform so that everyone is wearing the same thing. And that brings up, you know, some people might have more money than other people, and they might wear expensive or things that have baubles and stuff, and you don't want that around your food. So they give you a uniform so that you're not dragging a sleeve through somebody's food, so that you don't have a necklace or jewelry or something on. They want you to dress a certain way in order to keep the food clean. Another reason is what I said about people. Some people might have a lot of money to spend just for clothes and others don't. And so it puts everybody on the same playing field. Everybody's wearing the same thing. Nobody's dressed any better than somebody else. That can sometimes cause problems in a workplace where people are comparing themselves with each other about what they're wearing. I think it does really at school. I sent my children either to private school or homeschool where we didn't have all of that going on, all of that, you know, this one's wearing this brand name and that one's wearing that brand name. And it made it a lot less confusion. School's supposed to be about focusing on school. And at work, your work should be focusing on the work, not on what people are wearing.
Yes.
And so there are a number of things. I was in a position working for the state where a young lady was wearing clothes way too low cut, or she'd wear her skirts too short, and they threatened to go to a uniform because people were dressing in an inappropriate manner for the workplace. And so they had talked about going to uniforms, even though we worked for the state and we did social work, because people didn't dress appropriately when they came to work. So if they have a uniform, it's already decided beforehand what you're going to wear for work. So let's take a look. Lydia, I need you to help me with this dialogue. Lydia and I are going to share with you for section, it says, look at Miriam's uniform. What do you think her job is? And it shows a picture of her uniform. It looks sort of green. Do you see that on page 40?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think her job is, just from looking at her uniform?
Police officer.
The uniform, what does it tell you about what her job is?
The look at Miriam uniform. What's her job? This?
Her job is she's a nurse. You see the stethoscope hanging around the neck?
Yes.
Okay, at their hospital, they must have to wear kind of green uniforms. Different hospitals use different colors for different types of work that they do. It used to be that all nurses wore white uniforms, and some of them even wore little caps on their head. Okay, Lydia and I are going to read this. You want to be Dora, Lydia? And I'll be Miriam.
Okay.
Read what Dora says.
What do you do?
I'm a nurse.
Really? Where do you work?
I work at a school on Main Street. I'm a school nurse.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, now can you answer the questions? Okay, look at the picture. Dora is at a party. She is talking to Miriam and Pierre. Listen now to the conversation. Was your answer in exercise A correct? What was her job? She was a
nurse.
nurse. Listen again. We're going to add a little bit more, and then you're going to need to answer some questions down at the bottom of the page. Lydia, I need you again. So read this one.
What do you do?
I'm a nurse.
Really? Where do you work?
I work at a school on Main Street. I'm a school nurse.
Oh, that's interesting. What about you, Pierre?
I work at a school too.
Oh, are you a teacher?
No, I'm a student.
That's not a job, Pierre.
Oh, yes, it is. And it is a very hard job. Okay, nothing more to page 44. So, Uriah,
Yes. Pierre
no,
says this
Pierre is a what?
is an interesting job.
Is he a nurse, a teacher, or a student?
A student.
A student, very good. What did Pierre say? Amalia?
It's a hard job.
It's a hard job. Miriam said it's not a hard job. Pierre says, yes, it is. Who do you think is right? Is it a hard job to be a student?
No, it's an interesting job.
Pardon me, Uriah?
The conversation.
In the conversation, what do you think is correct? One of them said it was not a hard job to be a student. Is it a hard job to be a student?
It's good.
To learn things. I think it's a hard job.
It's hard, but it's interesting too.
It can be interesting, yes,
Yes.
but it also can be a hard job.
Yeah.
To learn and remember things. And next week we have a break. We're not going to have class next week. And remembering when you have 2 weeks and then over Christmas, sometimes remembering things is harder when you have a big break. Okay, now I want you two to be the Dora and Miriam. Uriah, why don't you do Dora? And Amalia, you be Miriam on page 41. And you read the dialogue there.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm a nurse.
Really? Where do you work?
I work at the school on Main Street. I am a school nurse.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, continuing the practice with these conversations, then make new conversations. Use the information in the boxes. Now remember, if you have a little pink box, you need to choose one of the pink boxes to the right of you to put in there and use one of the blue boxes to go where the little blue space is. So, go ahead, Uriah, you be A. And Amalia, UBB.
Okay.
What do you do?
I am a stock clear. Clear.
Clerk.
Re-
Good.
Really? Where do you do work? No, where do you work?
I work at the factory on the main street.
Okay, but if you're
Oh.
a stock clerk, you would work at the store.
Oh yes, sorry. Let me see. Let me correct this. Yeah, it's true. Let me see. I work in the stores and on the main street.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, trade places, so Ureva gets a chance to pick one of the pink boxes and the blue box. So Amalia, you start the conversation, you be A,
Okay.
and let Ureva be B.
Okay. What do you do?
I am an assembly line worker.
Really? Where do you work?
I work at factory on Main Street.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay. Ureva, do you work outside the home? Do you have a job somewhere?
Yes. Now
Where do you work?
I work in warehouse in product the Apple product.
Oh,
In
you work
warehouse.
for
Uh, pi-
Apple computers?
yes. Pero I picking and packing.
Okay. And Amalia, you said you work in a kitchen.
Yes.
What company do you work for? What?
Oh, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Long
I
time.
understand they have a very good reputation
Mm-hmm.
for having good food.
Yeah, good food.
Okay, let's go over to page 42. And they are going to have some name tags in part of what we're doing. And I wanted to mention to you a word you might hear in different workplaces about name tags. The word is lanyard, lanyard. And in some places where you work, you may have like, it looks little bit like a shoestring or a rope or a string and have a name tag attached to it. And they call that a lanyard. So when you go to work someplace, they may say, I'll get you a lanyard to put your name tag on. And that just means something, a string that goes around your neck or a chain to hold the name tag so you don't clip it to your clothing. So you can use it with whatever clothing you have on. Okay? All right, let's take a look at some grammar. I work at school. You work at school. We live in Texas. They live in Texas. But when you use that third singular, you say he works at school, she works at school, Miriam works at school, or you say he lives, she lives, Marion lives in California. So do you see the difference? If you use I or you, we use we or they, no S. You just work, you just live. But if you use he, she, it, or a person's name, then you have to add an S to the verb. Okay, and there again, on page 273, where we had the plurals, you also will find those spelling rules for using that present tense and adding the S. Similar rules to what we use when we add do it for plurals for words, for just nouns. Okay, let's look at the practice. We have to make a choice. Alex is talking about himself and some friends. Underline the correct word. Number 1. Amalia, would you take number 1, please?
Yeah, that's my friend George. He works at the store.
Good. Number 2, Yereba.
George lives in New York. My wife and I live in New York too.
Good. Amalia, number 3.
I work at the store too. I'm cashier.
Okay. Yereba, take number 4.
This is Gloria. She lives in Florida.
Good.
She works at hospital.
Good. Amalia, do number 5.
Olga and Marcos works at the hospital too. They security works.
Security, what was that word you said after security? Their security guards. Okay, look at the ID cards to the side. There's one that's green and 2 of them are blue. Complete the sentences. Use the verbs in the parentheses. So the verb be, the first one there, this is going to be one of the tricky ones, but we've had this in our last lessons. So Yereba, take that number 1 and fill in all 3 of those blanks.
Okay. Helen Lamb is a nurse.
Good.
She lives in Los Angeles.
Good.
She works at General Hospital.
Good. Okay, Amalia, take number 2 and do all 3 of those blanks, please.
Okay, Luis Mendoza and Navid Paul works accountant.
Okay, we need to use the form of be, which means we either need to use is or are.
Is or are. Are.
Okay, good. So Louis and Native are accountants. Okay, go on to the next one.
They lives in Tampa.
Good.
They works for Andrew Accounting.
Very good. Okay, we've already done this. Really, the talking about where we work, we just did that for the previous page. Do you feel like we need to go over that again? The C group down here, it says talk about what you do and where you work. We've already done that when on the other page. Okay, let's go to page 43. This is going to be a review page. And so you have a box there that's got several words in it, and you're supposed to do this conversation and fill in the words. Have both of you already done that? Take a few minutes on page 43 at the top. Complete the conversation, use the words that are in the box, and then we'll read it. Okay, are you about through filling in your blanks?
Almost.
Almost, okay.
I think I'm finished.
You finished? Okay. Amalia, you be A. Uriba, you be B. And read your sentences and fill in the blanks so that we can check and see if we've done them correctly.
Is that Raúl?
Okay.
No, that's Pablo Gomez. He works with Maria and Helena Perez. They work at Rico's Diner.
Oh, what do they do?
They're waiters.
Oh, really? I work a restaurant too. I a cook. I'm sorry, a cook at Paul's restaurant. What about you? What do you do?
I'm an electrician.
How, how, how's your job? Is it a hard?
Yes, it is. But it's interesting too.
Very good. Very good. You ladies did very well. Okay. In part 2, this is a writing assignment. You're to read the information from the little card there with the lady's picture, and you're to answer the questions. What does Helen do? Where does she work? And where does she live? So do your writing assignment there. from the information you have on that little ID card. Come here, Lydia. I need to do some introductions in our next assignment. You go ahead for a minute. You've got some time, but I'm going to need you in a moment. Okay, ladies, have you gotten your sentences written? Are your sentences written?
Yeah.
Okay, good. One of you read your sentences. Who wants to volunteer?
That's okay. It's fine.
You want to start, Amalia?
Okay. Okay. Elena is with with
Waitress.
wait, sorry.
Waitress.
Okay.
Okay.
She worked in Rico's Dinner.
Okay.
She lived in Queens, New York.
New York.
New York.
Very good. Very good. Now, you need to answer those same 3 questions for yourself. And Ureva, I'm going to have you read yours. In step 2, it says answer questions about yourself. What do you do? Where do you work? And where do you live? So both of you write those down, but I'm going to ask Ureva to read hers, okay? Because Amalia did the ones for Elena.
What did you do?
Are you ready? Already?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Read.
Question. A question, Maria. Question me.
Oh,
Ask
no,
me.
esta es la 2, la tienes que contestar acerca de ti.
Okay.
Okay,
Ask me.
okay. What do you do?
Okay. I'm factory assistant.
Where do you work?
I work in healthy.
Where do you live?
I live in Lebanon.
You live in Lebanon?
Yeah. I
I think I
live
live
in
in Lebanon.
Lebanon with my daughter. Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah. I changed the world. I
Oh,
changed the world. I changed the address. Yeah.
Okay. Lydia, I need you to come here. We're going to do some introductions. I'm not going to use the introductions that they gave us in the book. Usually you introduce the oldest person first. If you have both a man and a woman, you usually introduce the woman first and then the man, okay? So, Lydia, if you will come here a minute, I want to introduce you to my friends. This is my friend Ureba, Lydia. This is my daughter. And you notice I started with the older person first and then introduced my daughter, who is quite a bit younger. Okay. Now, Lydia, you introduced me to Amalia. Okay. Now, who would you say first? What name would you say first?
You.
Okay. Because I'm older. You can tell because all the white hair I have, right?
Mhm.
Now, sometimes you can guess and guess wrong, especially if they use dye or something on their hair and you can't tell who's the oldest. But nobody's going to call you on it. But just as courtesy, it's a cultural thing. Usually you introduce the older person first. So you can introduce me to Amalia.
Amalia, this is my mom, Carolyn. Mom, Carolyn, this is Amalia.
Okay. Now, Ureva, would you like to introduce Amalia to Lydia?
Yes. Hello, Lydia. This is Amalia. Amalia, this is Helia.
Okay, Amalia, you want to try, you can pick whoever you want to, but you need to introduce 2 people. That's part of what this next exercise was about. You're introducing 2 people.
okay. Ureva, this is Miss Caroline. Miss Caroline, this is Ureva.
How do you do? I'm so glad to meet you. Thank you for helping, Lydia. We're going to go down now on page 44 to read and react problem solving. This young lady is going to have a problem between her work and her school. Who would like to volunteer? Since Amalia, I think you were the, no, you read yours last, didn't you? Amalia, why don't you read step 1? Karen lives in Riverside. Do you see where you see that there on page 44?
44.
Yes. Right in the middle of the page, under that picture.
Read and freeze it. 4.
Sí, es esta.
It's number 4.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I believe that name is pronounced Karen.
Okay. Okay then. So I need to read the very on top first, right here.
You don't need to read all of that. We did that. I already did that exercise. That's an introducing exercise, introducing people.
Okay. Okay. Read about Carolyn problem. Carolyn lives in Riverside. She is a nurse assistant. She works on Riverside General Hospital. She works days and nights. Carolyn takes English classes at the Learning Center. She wants to be a nurse. One day, Carolyn goes to work. Her manager says, Carolyn, I need you to work nights. But Carolyn has classes at night.
Okay. Now, what can she do? What does she need to do? She needs to talk to
the manager.
The manager. She needs to talk to the manager. She can say, what could she say? What is one of the things she could say? I can't
work night because she
have English class.
She has English class.
Okay, what is something else she could do?
She's a nurse.
She could call her teacher.
Oh, okay. She need to talk to the teacher too.
Yes, she could call and find out if they have English classes during the day.
She can study in the morning.
So she can talk to and find out, are these classes offered at another time?
Mm-hmm.
You know, trying to solve a problem.
She need to change the schedule.
Which, yeah, the workplace needs to change her schedule. Can she change her English classes? And she probably needs to check on that before she talks to the boss.
Mm-hmm.
You need a job to supply an income for your needs.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes bosses are not too happy about changing your work schedule. They want you to adapt to them. So it might work better to talk to the teacher first, find out if the classes are offered at another time. If not, then talk to the boss and explain, look, I'm trying to better myself. I want to do a better job for you, but I'm taking these classes. And you always want to phrase it, I'm trying to do this to better myself in my job. It's not just something for your own personal gain. Because if the boss believes that you're trying to do better for them, then they're more apt to work with you on keeping your schedule the way you'd like to have it. So you have a couple of ways that you can go there to work out the problem. But when you go to talk to your boss, always talk to them. If you can't do it, it's not about your home life. Tell them you're trying to help you do a better job for them by taking these classes. The other thing would be if you explain, like if you have a child care problem or something like that, sometimes, you know, you can say, well, I'm sorry, but my husband works this time. I have to work this time in order for our children to be taken care of. we can't afford the cost of childcare.
Mhm.
So you have to weigh, what the results would be and help them to realize you can do a better job for them if it is this way.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go and take a look. I think that is our review lessons. And now I want us to just take a look at our vocabulary for our next chapter, chapter 3. And so if you will turn to pages 46 and 47. We are supposed to look at the pictures. Which things do you already know?
Desk.
The desk. Did I hear someone say desk?
Yes. Chair.
A notebook.
Notebook.
Chair. Computer.
Phone.
Computer, you know.
Chair.
Somebody said chair.
Yes.
Chalk. What's number 6? We don't hardly use these anymore. Instead of a green board, we use a
Green board.
whiteboard. That's a chalkboard is number 6, I think.
Chalk. Eraser. Marker. CD. Notebook.
Number
Eyes.
What's number 12?
12.
Eyes of paper.
Piece of paper.
Okay. Notebook paper. Excuse me. Notebook paper or a piece of paper. What is 13?
13 is a folder.
Folder.
A folder, yes. What is number 10?
A CD.
A CD. Some people just call it a disc.
Yes.
Do you know what number 8 is? It's an eraser.
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 I guess everybody knows what 16 is.
Cell phone.
A cell phone. 5 is what?
Dictionary.
A dictionary. Okay, now in part B, it says, look at the list of things in the classroom on 47. And it said, complete a chart with correct words. So in one column, they want you to write all the things that you can write with, all the things you can read, and all the furniture. So furniture in one column, things you can read, things that you write with in another column. So take all of the things from the list on page 47. We're not going to probably go over that tonight. I'll probably give you time to do that because we have a week off next week, and make that chart. Things that you write with, things that you can read, and then the furniture in a separate column. Okay, I think we can do this now, though. On page 47, it says, look at the list of things in the classroom. What things do you have with you today? So, Ureva, what things do you have with you today from the list? When you get ready for class, what do you have handy?
Okay, a chair,
Okay,
a computer,
yes.
many books,
What kind of book?
English class.
the English class,
Yes, the
sit
textbook.
book, sit
Yes, the
book,
textbook.
sit book, marker, two marker,
Yes,
sit notebook,
a notebook. Yes.
a few piece of paper,
Uh-huh.
one cell phone, a cell
And a
phone.
cell phone, yeah. How about you, Amalia? Does your list look about the same?
I have the CD for English class too.
Okay, yes.
I have a what is it? What did you say? Eraser.
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 I have I think it's the same that notebook. A folder. I have a folder too.
Yes. One of the things that I always have with me is a dictionary. Now, the one I currently have is just the English dictionary, but I have told Miss Judy that I needed something that would help me with some Spanish words, especially when we get into like our devotional. Sometimes a word comes up like jealous. And if you all had not known that, I don't know a Spanish word to help you with that, to help you understand what that word means. So she said she had a handheld device that she was going to send to me that she does not use to help me know when a word comes up in English that you don't have any experience with, to help me explain to you what that word means. So I'm hoping that that comes in the mail soon. She said she would send it to me. If it doesn't come this week, probably next week, I'm going to go to a bookstore and get a Spanish English so that I can look up some words that I think will come up in our discussion to help you understand a word, especially a new word that we haven't covered in here. So that's one of the things I would like to have. I don't have it yet, but I would like to have it. Okay. Instead of getting involved in all of the things for the next chapter, I think what I want to tell you is that in our workbooks, did you all have any problems doing the pages up to page 25? I had circled that I had assigned up to page 25. And have you all had any questions? Do you have any questions about any of those exercises? Did you have any problems doing them? Filling out the forms or problems with the verb to be? Complete the conversations, use contractions when possible.
No.
Those were all okay? You didn't have any problems with that? Okay. Since we're going to be starting on the new chapter, page 26, 27, let's just keep it to 26 and 27. It looks like the lessons for 2 and 3 are on 28 and 29. So we might need to do those lessons before we can go on. So let's just, for this time, let's just do 26 and 27 to be ready next time.
Okay.
I hate to go very much further because I only have 2 of you and we usually have 8. And so I'm afraid if I keep moving too fast, they'll be too far behind. So we've started a new chapter. I hope after the fall break that everybody will be back in our class. I may call some of those who didn't show up tonight and see if they just took an early fall break and see if they're coming back, see if the has anybody heard anything from Raina? She was not with us last week, and she always tries to attend, I think, and works hard on her Spanish and English. So has anybody heard from her? Do you know if they had a sickness or anything?
No, so I think that happened this week is for break and Davidson County and Summer County.
Oh.
Probably is why too many people no connect because it's for break now, this week.
Oh, who is on fall break already?
Summer County and Davidson County.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
I don't know where Rina live.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure I know Alberto live here in Hendersonville.
Yes.
And Marty living here in Hendersonville.
Yes.
I don't know the other 2 ladies, like what's the name?
Marianne.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I didn't stop to realize that that some of the other counties were not on the same fall break that Robertson is. Robertson's break is this coming week.
Oh, okay.
So that's, I see. Okay. Well, ladies, I'm going to let you go a little bit early this evening unless you all have some questions you want me to answer.
Okay.
When we come back after break, I'm going to review some numbers. I won't be doing plurals again for a while. We might pick them up again in November or December because they are hard to remember. But next time I'm going to review numbers. I know you 2 ladies do pretty well with numbers, but some of the rest of the class is struggling with numbers. I think Marty was having trouble with numbers, and some of the others. So I will probably review numbers, and we will probably go like to 20 and 30, maybe 40, and talk about numbers a little bit more, to review them, to help those that are not doing as well with remembering their numbers. But it'll be just a little short period of time right when we first start the class. It won't be a long period of time that we'll work on review, but I will review numbers. We need to use them when we talk about our textbooks, but we also need to talk about them with phone numbers and social security numbers and addresses, and so many things that we use every day use numbers. So we will probably do some review of that if you want to review those things. So I think I'll say goodnight. Lydia, you gonna say goodnight?
Bye. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for coming to class. We'll see you not next week, but the following week.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
these numbers will all stay the same. You'll get to class the same way each time now.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Bye.